Hey, this is Mike Addis. Thanks for joining me. It's always a pleasure bringing you these videos. So this is part 2 of intellectual versus non-intellectual businesses. I'm going to get some coffee here. And it's still April 17th. So as I said in the last video, we talked about intellectual businesses are basically created by people. For example, James Simmons. I forgot to mention him. He was like a super intellectual guy, and he was a mathematician. And he's the richest mathematician in the world. He makes $194,000 an hour, and he's worth $21.5 billion. Well, what does it have to do with intellectual? Well, he created computer systems that can determine whether stocks are going up and down and when to buy them and sell them. He created that. And the name of his company is called Renaissance Capital. That's an intellectual business. He created that business using mathematics. He's still around. He gives away billions of dollars, and you can go check him out. The mathematician who cracked Wall Street, Jim Simmons is his name. PhD, doctor in mathematics. I think he went to UC Berkeley. What's the point of the video? Good question. Don't forget to stay to the end, and you can get the recap. You're not in the intellectual business, and neither am I. I'm in the non-intellectual business. So last video we talked about intellectual a little bit. Now we're going to talk about non-intellectual business. Non-intellectual businesses is you're like a hunter in the woods and you're looking to find something to kill and eat. That's the business that I'm in. I'm out there to find what's called an undervalued asset, which is something that someone owns. I want to buy it at a certain price. I want to sell it to somebody else at a higher price. That's the business I'm in, period. And you can make $1 million a year doing that. And it's much easier than trying to create a mathematical algorithm that works on Wall Street. You get it? Facebook was an intellectual creation. Google, a search engine that'll give you all the information that you need and you can go and find things. That was an intellectual creation. The Apple iPhone, that was intellectually created from nothing, from an idea, a concept, that I could have a phone, that I could communicate with people and use it as a handheld computer, because that's basically what it is. When I went to school in the 70s, a computer was the size of this office. Now that computer is 10 times more powerful and you can put it in your hand. That's intellectually created businesses. I'm not in that business. I'm in the hunter-gatherer business. I hunt, I find it, I kill it, and I eat it. That's the business that I'm in. Why? Because it's easier. And I hunt for big brand name products that I could buy at a price from somebody that needs money. Yeah, but I don't have any money. Fine. Go get somebody to lend you the money and put the deal together. Because money will always find and chase good transactions. Getting money is not difficult. That's all in your brain. If you have something that's worth making a lot of profit on, and you bring that proposal to somebody that has money and you offer them a percentage of the profit, of course you're going to make money. In my $500,000 transaction, that was just a transaction that someone came to me with the deal and I put together the money with the guy that had the money, which is basically a multi-billion-dollar company called Costco. But I needed Roy to help me do it. So look at that, how I did the $500,000 transaction with no money. That was not created. That was a hunt. And someone came to me with the prize and they said, here, you put it together. Why? Because he didn't know how to put it together. He didn't have the people to put it together. Was there intellectual involved in the transaction? Yeah, you could say it a little bit, but I didn't really create anything. Same thing with the simultaneous close. I created the simultaneous close that fit for me and the way I put it together with no money. And I bought and sold houses and made millions of dollars off of buying and selling houses. You could say that was a little bit of an intellectual. Not much. That would be a stretch, but a little bit. When I buy a piece of property and it goes up 10 or 15% a year and I buy it for $1 million and next year it's worth 1.2, that wasn't an intellectual thing. That's non-intellectual. Why? Because I just found it. I went looking for it. Now, the hard part of non-intellectual businesses is there's a lot of competition because most people don't do intellectual businesses. So the more competition you have out there, the harder it is. So then the way you win in that game is you have to have a certain formula of discipline. So you would call that the right temperament. Warren Buffett is not in the intellectual business. Yeah, but he's worth $90 billion. Yeah, but he even says you don't even need to be that intelligent to do it. You have to have what's called the right temperament. So you have to have the discipline. I own Apple stock. It dropped 15, 20 points. I lost on paper tens of thousands of dollars. Did I sell it? No. Did it come back up? Yes, because I had to train myself to have the right temperament to make money in non-intellectual businesses. So there's a certain discipline, and you have to change the type of person you are. You may not have the type of personality that you can actually change. Most people do not. Do you get that? Why am I telling you all this stuff? Because it's the more information you have about who you are and the kind of things that you can make money at, the more chances that you'll probably make the money. I didn't know this stuff. I had to learn it over years and years and years of learning how this all goes down. You get that? Don't forget to stay for the recap. I'm going to recap this video right now. Okay, so let's do a recap in this video about intellectual and non-intellectual. Number one, most people are not in the intellectual end of the game. So intellectual business would be someone created Bitcoin. That was purely intellectual. Or guys on Wall Street, they figure out algorithms so stocks can be bought and sold short or sold long, or however you're going to do this on commodities and all kinds of trading platforms, and then it's put into a computer, and the computer's making all the decisions. That's an intellectually created way of making money. Or my simultaneous close that I showed you, that was intellectually created by me. It may have been created by other people, but I created that formula that works for me. Number one. Number two, most people are in non-intellectual businesses. For example, my non-intellectual business is the asset recovery business. I buy something at one price and I sell it for another. So basically, I'm just hunting around out there to find something that I can get for one price and sell it for a higher price. And I'm looking for big brand names. That's not an intellectual business. Most of my businesses are non-intellectual. And number three, most people are not in the non-intellectual game. Creating Facebook, for example, that was intellectual. Creating the Apple iPhone, that was all intellectual. You get it? So that's the recap. Those are the top three. And please give me your comments. Once again, subscribers are good. I like subscribers, but I'm really looking for comments because the comments give me great ideas and how I can give you back what you're looking for on these videos. Mike Addis, thanks for joining me. It's always my pleasure to bring these videos. April 17th from North San Diego County near the ocean. It's going to be a beautiful sunny day today. See you on the next video.